That's
And he can hear you outside.
He can hear me outside. Well, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
The speaker's always on outside.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be pissed mad that he can hear me out there talking about him.
When I show up late, there's always someone like stopping to listen for a little while
Whoa.
and then like come up.
Oh, wait, look at that piece.
That's like transparent.
Beauty.
Nice.
That's friggin' sweet.
Yeah, they're solid.
Very solid pieces. Brady, I can't believe you called him a coward. Did you hear what he called you?
I did.
That was not me. Yeah, there's a
Weird, it
peekaboo
looks like
window in
yellow
that
orange
piece.
there, but it looks pink when I look at it.
Yeah, there's a clear window in the side, so when you pack it and burn it, you can see right through.
Fascinating. We had some great glass display from the Keith Wong. Let me see. Ontario budget woe. Might have to open the dock, see what's going on in the world. I kid you not.
I wonder if that guy caught the moose. Remember the moose busted his
Oh
co-op?
man, that moose busted from last week. Yeah, believe a moose, but ran through.
Someone's backyard, and then the cops were chasing it,
Meh,
and they end up busting his grow up.
yeah.
Poor
Oh,
guy.
here's something neat. Christian youth find a majority of Christian youth find marijuana morally acceptable.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
On the Religion and Politics website, I read that Christian youth find marijuana more 50%, 52, 53%.
So these are youths who claim to be Christians.
No.
And smoking weed.
Maybe they're not smoking it. They're just okay with it.
Maybe that too.
So that's a percentage that admitted to it.
Admitted that they find it morally acceptable to smoke the ganja.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that
No.
they're smoking.
True.
So I think it could be a larger population than you're thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other 50 probably just a certain percentage of those just no,
Didn't
you can't
answer.
do that. Just because that's what they're supposed to say. You know,
Ah.
Well, yeah.
toe the company line type of thing. But you know, they're not going to be confronting anybody in the street.
You never know.
Right.
You ever been confronted for smoking a joint outside?
Not recently.
I've been given the stink eye. But that's about it. Yeah.
I didn't even get that. I smoked a joint pretty publicly and right on the train platform going to Niagara, Burlington, like at the bus stops, right out in the open. I got more of a stink eye for smoking a cigarette.
Well, that's true.
A couple of times, actually. I got more of a stink eye when I lit up the cigarette after I had put out the joint.
Well, I can't believe I put the Afghanica in the. I'm falling asleep up here. You heard me.
No,
Shouldn't have put all that indica in the vaporizer.
You've been hitting an indica, haven't you?
Who did that?
I just said I've been hitting the indica. You're slowing the show down, Brady, with your smoking of the indica.
Okay.
My bags all around.
So you're going to be at TY signing copies of your book, I hear?
Yeah, I have 100 copies of my book coming in, and I will be signing them at the TY Expo on the Saturday.
All day?
From 2 o'clock until they close.
So do you have all your books?
Clock until they
You have
close.
100. So
Yeah.
do you have all
I
your
hear
books?
there's a party that night.
Saturday night, apparently, there might be a Kush.ca party here at Vapor Central.
So we
But
Invite
that's
only?
invite only.
that's in. So we'll be closing early.
Yeah. If you really want to get it on the night before, too, you really want to get TY Expo fun on. You really want to know what's happening. And it's open to the public completely.
Yeah.
Pollen Master demonstration. If you have a TY Expo pass and you pay the cover at Vapor Social, You will get a. We're doing a sample session Friday night. Pollen Master demonstration Friday night. Vape social with myself, the Pollen Master team, and wait for it, House of the Great Gardener from Vancouver Island coming out. House of the Great Gardener. These guys won the cup last year, Matt Barron and his crew. And they're like, oh, Matt Myrna's throwing a party at Vape Social. He's going to demonstrate the Pollen Master. Fuck, we're not only in, we're in with shake. They're like, fuck, we're just going to bring some supplies to throw this party into high gear. So someone was like, you know, how much hash is there going to be? We will make sure everybody gets to hit some hash.
Awesome.
So the hash there.
There will be hash.
Wonder how much butter we can get to show up here.
We will make it the hash.
Which is nice. I find there's less hash in Ontario than there is in BC.
A lot less hash because the kids smoke the BHO. The BHO is where it's at. They don't hash it up like they used to.
Yeah.
Mike's looking at me. No, I think so. I think everybody does the dabbing. It's less of a hash market, but we're trying to bring it back with the Pollen Master.
Well, I'm not saying I'm agreeing with you, but if you bring some of that stuff over, we'd be more than happy to spray it for you.
See, you want to put harmful butane on my beautiful marijuana plant?
I didn't say I wanted to. I just said we'd be happy to.
Exactly. If you grow weed, the idea of putting butane on it just seems sad to just like, I didn't grow this from a seed to like ultimately put butane on you.
Wow.
Hey, you know, you ever hear the expression you got to crack a few eggs?
Right?
Yeah, well.
To make an omelet? Thanks for the platitude. Matt's not an omelet.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't.
Goodwin, was it earlier in the show? Back to a different one. And when you type in marijuana, I got there's a lot of times when potheads call 911. Yet again, a pothead has called 911.
I wasn't aware of this.
A pothead or a person not used to marijuana?
No, a pothead definitely called this time. Wait for it. Why, instead of calling 911, why not call 420? Take care of it. All right? Call 420 if you're like too high, or in this case, if your pot dealer rips you off by not showing up to your house, don't call 911. Where do you get where does the thought cross your mind? Fuck, man, the dude didn't show. I'm going to call 911 and ask if they've seen him. This guy's bust my pot dealer. He drives a 95, something from hatchback. It's kind of, he wears a sweater around his waist, mostly flannel. Hasn't shaved in a while. He's got a goatee, though. Have you seen my weed dealer? Imagine calling 911 and saying, have you seen my weed dealer? How fucking baked do you have to be? And or stupid? And or the words Beavis? Like, a guy named Butthead has to be your best buddy, right?
Has to be.
Like, serious.
That is a lot of dumb.
Like, a butthead is your buddy.
What did he want? Like, yeah, sure, he's just on the corner. I saw him 10 minutes ago. Like, is that what he was hoping for?
I don't know. I think he was pretty upset that the weed dealer didn't show. He was supposed to show at this time, didn't.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, pothead calls 911 when weed dealer fails to arrive.
Conversation
you can't.
On February
you can't.
I'm not even making this up. I fucking Google search for marijuana news before the show. If a couple days I collect stories. Forgot to send this one to Goodwin. My stats of pothead. I mean, if we were to gather, Goodwin, and think of it now, I'm thinking of this out loud. If we were to gather stories of potheads calling 911, I can think of at least two popular marijuana stories that aren't even fucking myths. Like back in the day before the internet, oh yeah, some pothead, he called 911 when his dealer didn't arrive. That'd be a fucking myth. These days, you can look it up on the internet, you can find that pothead, and you can like find him on Facebook and mock him seriously. Right? Fuck you, fucker, you know, you make us all look dumb. 911. So there's this dude in Denver, 911 called, dealer no-show. Then there's the cop in Detroit. That's my favorite. You're a cop in Detroit. You take weed from a pothead. You bake brownies with the weed. You have a bad trip. Thank fucking God, eh? That's karma there. That is
Time now for the ridiculous, and tonight we're adding a veritable cornucopia of pot-centric 911 calls. Now, the most recent being just this week, police were called to a house just off the University of Maryland campus. 3 masked men allegedly broke into the house where police say 5 college students live. Now, one of the students called 911, and in the course of telling the dispatcher what happened, he said that the masked man asked him for drugs and money, and then this.
Yeah,
So he asked you for money and drugs, and did he get it?
Maybe the guy was like completely on marijuana and he was
took my
expecting,
weed.
like,
I always
it to
wonder
show
what
up,
compels
but it didn't
people
show
to
up, and he
volunteer
was
that kind of
really,
information.
you know,
Are pot enthusiasts just incredibly honest?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some
You're
mechanism in the
jonesing when
body
you're
where
calling
when
911,
bong resin
that's
meets
for sure.
Dorito dust, they're somehow distilled into a natural version of sodium pentothal.
What, you
I
got
don't know. Why else, for instance, would this guy in Connecticut call 911?
Well, I have a legal question.
Well, it's not. Is this an emergency?
Are you... DJ,
I don't know what that
He's
means.
going to play one of the
I was just growing some marijuana. I was just wondering how much, trouble you can get into for one plant.
Got to cue it all up.
You're growing marijuana, and you want to know how much. Depends on how big the plant is.
It's only a seedling.
Possession?
Yeah, so the police were there in a flash, and they arrested that guy. No joint investigation or anything, just drove on over, picked the guy up. The officer said it was definitely a first, but it's not the best. We have saved the best for last. This is our favorite. We played it before. The police officer, who himself calls 911 after he and his wife decided to unwind one evening by mixing up a batch of pot brownies. Here are the best parts. Bon appetit.
I think I'm having an overdose, and so is my wife.
Okay, you and your wife?
Yes.
Overdose of what?
I don't know what that means.
Is it life-threatening or an active crime in progress?
Crime in progress, possibly.
What's going on?
Yeah, the audio is shitty.
Marijuana. I was just wondering
Unfortunate, the audio of the cop calling 911.
Time now for the ridiculous, and tonight we're adding a veritable cornucopia of pot-centric 911 calls. Now, the most recent being just this week, police were called to a house just off the University of Maryland campus. 3 masked men allegedly broke into the house where police say 5 college students live. Now, one of the students called 911, and in the course of telling the dispatcher what happened, he said that the masked man asked him for drugs and money, and then this.
So he asked you for money and drugs, and did he get it?
He took my weed and took my rent money.
He took my weed. I always wonder what compels people to volunteer that kind of information. Are pot enthusiasts just incredibly honest? Maybe there's some mechanism in the body where when bong resin meets Dorito dust, they're somehow distilled into a natural version of sodium pentothal. I don't know. Why else, for instance, would this guy in Connecticut call 911?
Well, I have a legal question.
Well, it's not. Is this an emergency?
I don't know what that means. I was just growing some marijuana. I was just wondering how much, trouble you can get into for one plant.
You're growing marijuana, and you want to know how much. Depends on how big the plant is.
Wow.
It's only a seedling.
Possession?
Yeah, so the police were there in a flash, and they arrested that guy. No joint investigation or anything, just drove on over, picked the guy up. The officer said it was definitely a first, but it's not the best. We have saved the best for last. This is our favorite. We played it before. The police officer, who himself calls 911 after he and his wife decided to unwind one evening by mixing up a batch of pot brownies. Here are the best parts. Bon appetit.
I think I'm having an overdose, and so is my wife.
Okay, you and your wife?
Yes.
Overdose of what?
Marijuana. I think we're dying.
Okay, how much did you guys have?
That's a fucking...
I don't know. We made brownies, and I think we're dead. I really do. Time to going by really, 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 really slow.
Do you guys do this on a regular basis?
No, this is the first time that we've ever done it.
And you've never done marijuana before?
Yeah, I have.
And you've never had this reaction to it before?
Ever. Let's go on the Red Wings game. Let's go on the Red Wings game.
I've got no clue. I don't watch the Red Wings.
So you got to give it to the 911 operators. They have to keep calm during life and death situations, help people in their darkest hours, and they also have to answer calls from people baked out of their minds on pot brownies wanting to know hockey scores. It's a tall order and sometimes a high one.
Yeah, so next time you feel like calling 911 because you're baked out of your mind, just remember the number is 420.
Call
420. So another stoner pick up the line. Think I'm dying on weed. No, man, it's okay. Serious, you can't die.
time's going really, really, really slow, man.
The Red Wings winning. No, the Red Wings haven't been good since like the year 2002. So yeah, time must be really going slow for you or something. Fedorov is long retired, man. Long retired. The days the Red Wings
fine.
are good are way over.
So don't call 911.
Call 420 and a sympathetic stoner will be on the phone, talk to you down. It's okay.
Calm you down.
And if it's a true emergency, like some guy steals your rent money and takes your weed, fuck, man, don't worry. We'll find that guy by shining the bong light. We'll just hit the bong light. Bong man, we will be dispatched to you. He will be dispatched, and he will help you find your rent. He'll take control of the scene. Now, he's like the Kool-Aid man, I'll warn you.
Oh, yeah.
He arrives on the scene, and he runs right through your wall, and he goes, dab it down. Like
Dab it
right through the wall.
That's expensive.
Yeah, well, you know.
Superheroes.
What is the Kool-Aid man, too, right?
Got your rent back and your weed back, though.
You got to explain a big bonk-sized hole in your wall. Why didn't he take the door? Because he doesn't fit. Same with the Kool-Aid man. I mean, it's not like the Kool-Aid man could have went through the front door.
It's just a sideways sunroof or whatever it's called inside of a house.
Mm. It's true. The Kool-Aid man could not go through your front door.
Or your wall.
Yes, he could. He was the Kool-Aid man. How could he not go through your wall?
He's like the Kool-Aid. He's about the size of the Kool-Aid man.
The pitcher? Man, we should get Abby Roach. Now there's a good question. Can you find me a Kool-Aid man pitcher? We should tweet her.
Because we don't have smartphones in our pockets.
Right. The Kool-Aid man going through the wall is one of the best things ever. Speaking of the start of the summer, Kool-Aid man jokes. So there you go. Next time you're having a marijuana freakout, 420, we dispatch Bong Man or talk you down. But that's serious. These things, dangerous things can happen. You can pass out here. It's happened many a times. People like all of a sudden they're talking to you one moment, next moment they're on the ground wondering what happened.
Yeah.
Like
we're
just
here for you.
Boom, fall right over, man. And we run. I've seen staff run to the back, get an orange juice, and begin getting that person to sip the orange juice. That's what you got to do. If you have that marijuana freak out, orange juice.
Orange juice.
Brings you right down. Now, if you smoke some pot and you didn't get quite high enough, mangoes. Eat a mango.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it gets you way higher.
I didn't know that.
Helps your body absorb the THC.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love mangoes. Those little champagne mangoes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Eat
Mango
them with a
that
knife.
up. Mango
We'll have to
it
try that
up.
next time. See? Marijuana leads you to experimenting with mangoes.
By the way, I've been searching Toronto marijuana and stuff for a long time, and there's like a lot of articles in the last week. And one of them was like really strange, and I didn't actually look it up until recently. But there's a whole bunch just all over in all the local, like Star and Sun and CTV. But CTV had police raid licensed medical marijuana grower. And then if you look at the article, He was growing 2,200 plants more than he was authorized to produce.
Okay, wait a second here. At Leslie and Gerard. Well, there's a
Toronto
great...
police say 44-year-old man is facing following a raid on a business license to produce medical marijuana. Investigators allege the operation was growing 2,200 plants more than it was authorized to produce.
Well, I mean, if you're producing 2,000 plus why even get the license?
Yeah.
Like, here's my name, address, phone number. And by the way...
Jiang of Toronto is charged with producing marijuana possession.
Not the brightest tool in the shed. Dude, you might as well have just done it all illegally. I think those people should be more punished than regular growers. Because, frankly, regular growers are like, fuck it, I'm just going to break the law. This guy's like, you know what? I'm a little ill. I got an illness. I'm going to get the license. And then I'm going to...
Profit.
Still, no, that's not even profit. That's not even going over the line by like 10 plants. Like, yeah, I had to trade 20 clones that I was waiting because I was just about to crop out. So I had 20 clones that I was waiting to put into there. Like, he's not even a smidge over. He blew to the moon over. Like, he's in Mars territory. He's that far out of space.
Yeah.
Like, what compels you to break it that badly?
Here's another version of the same story. It calls it Leslieville medical marijuana raid nets $2 million worth of plants. This was just May 2nd. Toronto police seized 2,203 marijuana plants from a Leslieville business on Tuesday, worth $2 million.
I never got how their plants were worth so much.
$1,000 a plant. The drug warrant was executed at Gerard and Leslie at a commercial premises located 200 meters from a school.
Yeah, but...
That's a poor location choice.
Best thing is he was released on bail immediately. Fuck, man, I grew 32 goddamn plants on a balcony. I couldn't get bail. This guy, fucking 2,000 motherfucking plants, released immediately the next day on bail.
No.
What the fuck?
That's not fair at all.
Blows way over the line. Man, I hope he wins. I really hope he wins. If not, mandatory mins, buddy, you're fucked. Good one. What's that on the mandatory min scale? I didn't even think of Pinyang Ching there, did they? They wrote 500 plants. People are only ballsy enough to grow 500 plants. There's this dude, like 2,000. He's 4 times over a mandatory min, I think. Right, Goodwin? What's the mandatory min on that? Goodwin's over there doing the math.
Way over.
Way over.
No
A
way.
woman recently just got sentenced under she got 4 years for a very small thing. She had like 150 plants or something, and 4 years. The judge didn't want to give it to her, but he had no choice. And she was a single mother with 2 or 3 kids. It was crazy.
Aw. That's a sad story. But that's still like quite a bit smaller than 2,000.
Yeah, he's way. I mean, you're triggering in like some. It's 6 months or 18 months for what I have. In the 100 range. Somebody's got to know. 2,000 plants. What's that trigger on a mandatory min? That's federal time, man.
Yeah. Anything over 2 years is Fed time.
Oh, he's looking at like 4 fucking years for something like that, I bet. Like serious time.
Wow.
Well, you put it in a commercial business, it could be like they say, oh, a commercial business. It could have been a big fucking warehouse in Leslie and Gerard.
Yeah.
Could have been like a car dealership. It's all residential.
You hear this other story? Small town Muskoka hockey rink may become
Yeah, I was
medical
going to
marijuana
talk
factory.
about this one. It's weird. If Ping Jang was more legit and he really wanted to grow weed, he could have contacted this town in Kawartha and offered to buy their community center and turned it into a medical pot facility,
That
legal
sounds like
one.
what's already happening.
No, it has to pass. It's just the beginning phases. Kawartha, well, no, they voted for it at city council to begin talking about it. Originally, like one article says, oh, they said they're doing it, and now it's like 300 people showed up to the community center. Dude, when 300 people in a small community show up to a community center, you're fucked. That's
Yeah.
it. Game over. You ain't getting reelected. Because you got elected on 700 votes, right? Like, some of these small communities, if you have 800 doofuses that put up your hand, you're doing okay. So, I don't know. There are some communities, though, that seem to be receptive to the idea of medical marijuana, and it does go right down to that local municipality thing. You really have to, like, have all your ducks in a row now to get one of them med pot licenses. But they're not the only one. I think there's 3 Ontario municipalities, Goodwin. No, 3 municipalities in Canada that are considering some sort of private partnership with these businesses for MedPot.
Just like transforming old businesses that aren't doing very well anymore, like community centers. I don't understand.
So, I don't know. Someone's in the chat saying judges won't give the 2 years unless Ontario builds more jails, which are coming. But if you get 2 years plus, you ain't going to Ontario jail. You're going to a federal jail.
Yep.
But again, just remember, now that our deficit is horrifically out of control, let's not pay for Harper's pot prohibition.
Mandatory minimums working for nobody.
I know.
And then Mark Grimes is at it again.
Is he in the news?
He was in the Sun on the same May 2nd. The Star's reporting all that other stuff.
Right.
The Sun reports medical marijuana share the info of medical marijuana grow-up locations. Toronto's councillor Mark Grimes.
Grimes is trying to dig up that moralistic vote in his riding. I hope Renda goes up against him.
Councillor Mark Grimes wants to know where the medical marijuana is growing in the city. Grimes wants City Council to ask Health Canada to provide the city's emergency services with the location of all licensed medical marijuana grow-ops in the city.
Unfortunately, he'll be told he can't. He's just cheap heat, right? Now, the funny thing about it is that, here's a weird story, is that here's all these city councilors, or Grimes in particular, he wants to know where all these medical marijuana facility is, but if you ask him why he's not concerned about uranium reprocessing facilities and where they're located in the city. Yeah. Why is he not concerned about uranium reprocessing?
That's a zinger.
Dude, I know where one's located, and no one is getting pissy until recently it came out because they put it in the wrong fucking place, my neighborhood. Yeah. No Canada nuclear state, no oversight, nothing. They just said, yeah, you can use this facility to reprocess uranium. Originally, when I read it, I was like, enrich uranium? We're fucked. Iran's going to be invading my neighborhood. But it's reprocessing, which means they're basically breaking down the gel packs in old LED TVs and reprocessing it. Uranium in basically a residential neighborhood. And that's located at Lansdowne and DuPont. Lansdowne, DuPont. There you go. Uranium Reprocessing Center. Nobody was told.
Nobody.
Mark Grimes is out there looking for your dangerous marijuana grow up. It grows it grows in soil. It does not. Fucking uranium, man. That shit's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, not in our backyard.
I mean, it's got a 1,000-year half-life. Uranium lives forever. That fucking pot plant, I'm going to smoke it tomorrow.
I'm not going to see it tomorrow.
And this idea of mold, I bet you, Mark Grimes, I'll bet you dollars to donuts, and of course I have a great lawyer, so all of a sudden he's got quite curiosity. What is the difference, Goodwin, between powdery mildew and mold? Yeah.
A little bit of growth.
Well, sometimes a little bit of growth, but, you know, you get these cops always talking about mold, 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 but they couldn't tell you the difference between powdery mildew and mold.
Is it growth?
Well, actually, powdery mildew is white. Mold is
mold's
black. Powdery mildew only grows on the plant. It doesn't grow on the... mold grows on... other surfaces.
Your drywall.
Yeah, on your drywall. Powdery mildew versus mold.
Maybe orange, green, black, brown, pink, or purple.
Yeah, so there's Goodwin's comparison charts up there. Types of fungi.
Orange.
Yeah.
Green.
Powdery and whatnot. So it's always neat is that you have these officers and one, your police officers are not responsible for mold. There's mold in your shower. Again, do not call 911. In fact, maybe you should. If you see black mold in your apartment building, you don't take all the pot out, hide all your get your bongs and then call 911. There's some black mold in my shower. I'm a little concerned. It hasn't moved yet, but I think you should send the police immediately. I'm eyeing it.
Fix my problem.
Come fix this problem. You imagine if everybody in the city started calling 911 to fix the mold problems?
Well, cops think that they have the right to call mold when they come in, but they're not. It's the health department.
One, it is the health department, so make sure it is the health department. The moment you call the health department for a grub to see if the health department checks, they're like, oh yeah, we checked that. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Because the health department has to be honest, because the last thing they want to do is to create a pandemic of epidemic proportions of craziness, people running through the city. Be like, fuck that one up.
But people just often misquote the police, and it's just whatever the police say.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They're not the ones in charge of seeing if there's mold there.
Police are not responsible for mold. However, if the Toronto police were ready for a blob attack of the blob, they're prepared.
Attack of the blob.
The blob
they have
comes.
Javix.
Their efforts to eradicate grow-op mold will have them prepared for a blob.
Yeah. That was one of the concerns that they had written in, wasn't it?
What? Mold.
Yeah.
The other one is that this marijuanas they're always now located within 200 meters or 100 meters. Listen, dude. Listen, officers. I have gay friends who turn on the Grinder, which is an app on their phone that allows them to find a hookup, if you know what I'm saying, like a place, the Grinder. They're like, it's 200 meters from the school. I can turn on the Grinder from a friend, and they could be 50 meters from gay sex. Boom. Really? You're concerned? Come on, man. We got apps that find us shit with it. You have no idea what's going on around here. None. There are gay people around. There's all sorts of crazy activities within everything. 200 meters it was. What are you talking about? 50 meters? I got a hookup for gay sex. I got.
The active gay sex guys are gonna be pissed at you forever.
What? Take the Grinder, man.
Way to piss off the Grinder.
It's an app. It's already out there.
It's out there. They're out there, man.
It's not underground.
It's not underground at all. I researched it after it was sung to me as a song. I have a friend, she put up a profile. I'm like, it's a gay site, right? She's like, I got a friend, I'll put his photo up. I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes.
He's been through it enough to know that you run a glory hole.
Can't rhyme with Myrna. So, yeah. The grind, they're 200 meters. I'm like, man, I'm 50 meters away from a gay hookup from just turning on this Grinder
You
app.
should start looking around and keeping binoculars and
Looking for grows? Wouldn't that be great?
No, just looking for gay sex.
Yeah. Instead, Counselor Mark Grimes, he should just ask for an app. I want the app for grow locations. Fuck, man.
Is it part of the 420? Yeah, 420 number can have an app.
Yeah. Medical marijuana location app. What's he thinking? Unless someone's like, so if Matt offers you a Grinder, beware.
What?
It's true. Some trippy music. It's 10 o'clock. It's 20 minutes to go. Good one. He's just back there bopping to his own self. I'm just saying, Counselor Mark Grimes wants to find your grow. No, I haven't mentioned that day. The first Saturday of every year is the Goodwin's anniversary. First Saturday of May, every year. Well, it's Sati or Indicas. First Saturday May is the Goodwin. I wish them a happy anniversary on Saturday, and she's like, it's tomorrow. I was like, no, it's not. It's the first Saturday in May.
Not by the date.
The date cannot be changed. It is always going to be the first Saturday in May. No ifs,
No, the
ands, or
date
buts.
can't stay the same.
Yeah. The third wedding date is always the first Saturday in May. I have spoken it to keep myself sane. Yeah, be careful of Counselor Grimes. It's dangerous. Grimes rhymes with crime. Also rhymes with time.
And chime.
Counselor Grimes is opposed to you smoking dime bags.
Only larger ones?
I can't believe it.
We're all a
So
little
if a
high.
midget gets, if a little person, Brady, if a little person gets high, are they medium?
That's awful.
I read that on Twitter.
Did you see the meme that says,
Wait. We may have offended someone. Wait, hold on a second. There's another mic.
I guess I would still be small.
Well, hold on. But you're not like little. You're like little person.
The microphone's on the step, to be fair. It's not on the floor.
But you're just a little. You're not like half point or anything. Like I know lots of people your size. How high are you? 4'3", 4'4"?
The answer's very high.
4'6"? Oh man, I know tons of chicks that are 4'6". They're tons of fun. They're fun size. Very fun. Look, Brady's a giant.
I'm like 6.
4'6". Those chicks are fun size.
We do have one member who
4'7".
can't see over the counter.
What?
We have one member who can't see over the counter. He's not
It's
here
okay.
tonight.
I know.
He's a cool guy.
I know he is.
I know who you're talking about.
I know you're talking.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Does it get medium?
He would probably actually really laugh at that. He would laugh at that one. He'd laugh at that one. Yeah. Yeah, I tweeted 100 Collins before, and I said we have a little person as a regular. I said he'd punch you in the crotch for that midget comment.
I thought my question was fair.
Fair and funny. Heavy on the funny. Light in the fair.
Cam swap, please. I don't watch the Discovery Channel. I try not to watch TV.
It's
I
a
don't-
sweet grinder.
It's a good one. Do you have a grinder?
Well, I have a few, but they're all bunged up and whatnot. I don't have a nice one anymore.
Well, you got to do something and clean them, or.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
but the plastic ones, once they get really bunged up, you know what I mean. They do eventually get pretty scratched.
You might as well just chuck it.
I do give a lot of I do give a lot of them away. Stu, so I would love to have this one. I'd
All
certainly
right,
don't
we'll
have
take that Royal Queen Seats
Woo-hoo.
grinder.
this. Score.
Man, you're a
I was
mood.
I was light on bottles last week.
It's true.
Yeah.
Did you have a good rally on Saturday?
It was a lot of. That skunk suit was hot.
How come I don't have a skunk onesie? You know, I have a tickle trunk, and I wear like unicorn mask, and I wore a morph suit. I have like a tickle trunk of costumes. I got a
You gotta
panda.
talk to Bong Man. It's part of his skunk army.
I pulled on the skunk outfit, and Marco Renda was sitting at the picnic table right beside me, and he looks up. He's like, so what's the skunk supposed to represent? I just looked at him and went, you kidding me? It's a skunk.
It's a skunk.
Here to stink up the place.
Stinking up the place.
Yep. And then during yeah, it was a lot of fun, actually. Pete's voice gave out once we got on Blur, so I ended up picking up the megaphone.
Blur?
Yeah.
That's only like.
He was. Hey man, have you seen the video I uploaded? I actually got
I
some
know,
video.
I'm
He was
joking.
screaming like a maniac.
I know.
Yeah. So apparently, near simultaneously, Chris was in the truck looking at Aaron, going, "Who the hell gave Brady a megaphone?" And I'm in the back going, "Can you believe they gave me a megaphone?" It was fun times.
No,
True
it was
protest.
a great protest.
It was a great protest.
Great protest. Very good.
Yeah.
No.
There was a solar toke.
Solar token.
I think we left the park a lot cleaner than it was. There was some people walking around with. By the time I made it out with a garbage bag, I got to say, Terry Parker had. He was really efficient cleaning up with that little.
He is, eh?
He has done this before.
He knows how to clean apart.
Yeah, but there was actually, and there was a few people I really did not know. There was some kids that were off, kind of spaced out from groups of people that I knew, and I saw a couple of them get up with bags, and one of them returned like a hefty bag of garbage that he had picked up by hand, and
Excellent.
like didn't ask for anything in return. I was even like looking around to see if we had one of those T-shirts, and he was kind of disappeared into the. I couldn't track where the hell he had gone.
Into the mist.
Yep. Yeah, it was great.
No, they did. We did exceedingly well. It shows that we can put on protests quite easily.
Funniest thing of the day, I was actually sitting there at a picnic table with some people dabbing, and then at the corner you can hear you yelling into the phone, "Oh, what the hell happened to the street?" And I come up and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Well, I thought we were going to have Goodwin come up and we're just going to pull around and try and get all this stuff off the soundtrack. They're marching here." And I look down the street and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you can see a flag." So, but that was pretty funny. You could just, out of the silence, you can just hear your voice. Yeah. Like.
No, they opted to march, and we took over the park where we had an advance team. We figured the police would be there, but the advance team found
No cops. When was the first time we encountered any police?
Didn't encounter them till about Blur and Young almost.
Oh wow. So
Two
by the
bike
time you
cops
like
at
crossed
Blur
their
and Young.
path-
Blur and Young.
Yeah, yeah.
They were just like, what the I don't know what to do.
And we already had it under control. Robert Allison helped a lot.
Did a great job keeping people to one lane. It was
Shane did great. They were handing out flyers actually for TY to motorists, but him pulling that cart along right on the line did really good at setting up a barrier. Jack was back there with his bike. Pete taking up the end with the vehicle.
yeah, so we did exceedingly well, and
yeah, we had solid presence. Hey, it sounded really loud when we got outside of Vapor Central. I don't know what it was like in here. I'd love to hear from Compton what it sounded like, what we looked like.
I don't know, it's good.
Is that the day before the cops have their thing there?
Yep.
Hmm.
Next day is the cop day of sorrow or something.
Should have tweeted them.
Oh, hung
No.
donuts.
We should have created the donut tree.
Jeebus. Well, hey, we left a really clean park, but I didn't pick up any of the roaches. I left those.
Nobody needed to pick up roaches. They
Yeah, we
dissolve
left
in
roaches.
the rain.
Yeah.
The
Remember
homeless
the
love
homeless.
it.
The homeless love them.
But yeah, the next day, we're gonna change the date of the Globe Marijuana March in Toronto because the cops don't like it the next day.
Effed up. I think next year Bongman and Hash Mob host GMM.
I hear that's gonna happen, but
Yeah, I hear that is the plan. I don't know what's
This is
going to happen
relaxing
Saturday.
music behind us.
yeah, the chat's all like, "What's up with that guy with the 2,000 plants over his limit?" I'm like, "Yeah." Someone's like, "Had to be a biker or an Asian." It looks like it. Maybe by the name.
I would suggest anybody showing up on Saturday to Queen's Park take your bike so that you're able to blend in if need be.
Well, I'm bringing my bike.
I'm taking my bike. I'm not actually going to merch.
I'm going to the Bells on. I'm going from High Park to Queens Park. I hope they have like the real slow guy lane, which is also includes halfway when we get there we take a breather.
I've seen your bike. You have a very cool bike.
Folding bike.
I have a folding bike. It folds in half. It folds the handlebars fold down. It's great.
Yeah.
I rode it 10 kilometers, which I rode it to Bud Cannabis' house on Sunday for dinner.
Oh, yeah?
10 kilometers. All
Really?
through, yeah. People are like, how do you do the crazy neighborhood?
There is some PUD on that trip.
There's a lot of PUD.
There
in my
is some
neighborhood.
PUD on that trip, buddy.
Yep, there's a lot of useless PUD, pointless up and down.
You know, someone commented on our strain hunters or strain pickers video recently.
Yep.
Where's the next episode? Like, yeah, we dropped episode 1. Fuck it.
Well, we're doing all new. That was only like the what do they call it? The pilot.
It was a concept piece.
No, I'm doing all new. I start on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Toronto spots to smoke pot. I think this week I haven't decided which route I'm doing. I'm either going to do the Beltline or maybe High Park, but I would prefer if I do High Park to go with 1 or 2 people. So
You gotta do another photo shoot sometime.
yes, we have to do some photo shoots. Might need I have a couple new photographers that want to do work with me. So
Yeah.
but that's our summer fun. I mean, and if you don't get on it right out of the gate, summer's gone. I mean, like we're May, June, July, August.
Yeah. And then it's freaking cold again.
Yep. Also, an activity. I'm attending the Kush Cup in June.
Where's
Sell
that?
books. It's in Vancouver.
Ooh.
Mark Clokey, aka the Kush Cup, Kush.ca. He'll be here hawking tickets and stuff. I will be there in June, end of June. And I intend to climb the grouse, do the grouse grind. Another thing to grind. I don't grind these things up, you know.
Last year was pretty fun, the Kush party. I'm looking forward to this year.
So the parties are good. I can only imagine what a 3-day weekend with Mark Clokey is like.
Man, do you see the photos that go up from his events? It is fucking insane. Like, that guy parties like every day is his last on earth. And that is actually kind of, well, a bit of a Reader's Digest of what he's doing. Like, you know.
Pretty much
it.
So Kush Cup, I'll be there in Vancouver, smoking the finest.
Are you going to bring the belt?
Oh yeah, I'll bring a belt.
Are you afraid
No.
that you may lose the belt?
I will bring a belt. It's gonna be yeah. I'll bring my wrestling belt, Kush Cup it up.
Smells funny.
Something smells strangely like a blunt. If anyone's not aware, we don't allow blunts in Vapor Central. I don't know why the heck I just smelled that. Yeah, blunt. A
Now
chocolate blunt's what it smells like.
Who's smoking a chocolate blunt? Reckon my weed stink.
Yeah, if the staff that are working
for a
find
staff
anybody
member
smoking one of
find.
those.
You're gone. That's a
Uh,
nice warning. Rarely do they warn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the staff
That's
member finds
offensive.
that
Yeah.
chocolate blunt, you're fucked.
Yeah, if you got a blunt, kindly put it the F away.
Nah, so
There.
that's a warning, and you actually got
That's a warning that you don't normally get because I sure as hell can smell it. So whoever's got the blunt, put it the F away.
And that's a
Alright.
nice warning because usually staff members just come around and kick you out. So,
Well,
it's a polite warning. Anyways, back to the last 5 minutes
it's a quick
of the
way
show.
to do it. There you
Jay
go.
Danger's ready. We gave gave away a great deal of stuff. Half a box of End Jammers. Thanks to End Jammers.
Oh, trust me, those things will go like those. We go through filters here like crazy.
Jammin' Prohibition. That's those guys. Jammin' Prohibition. End
Jammin'
Jammers.
Prohibition.
Poddles 420 swap with the Poddles. Those guys are awesome. Thanks again to mypoddles.com. Get those. We got to make a video or something with them.
Those things are handy.
We got to make a Poddles video.
Pop in the pottle.
Poddles video?
Yeah. What pot do you have in your pottle?
Yeah, well, that's an idea.
Yeah.
Poddles vid. Hi-U clothing. I'm not wearing any Hi-U t-shirts right now, but thank you, Hi-U, for all your great attire.
I gotta get one of those.
Royal Queen seeds. I didn't get to any of the posters this week.
No.
I got a full tube of posters from Royal Queen.
Well, hello. Got some naked walls. Happy to display some shit.
Yeah, you'll have to make a video or something.
I can do that.
Wow, but there's a lot of videos or a lot of posters to give away.
Okay.
We'll start giving away posters next week. But we did accomplish our goal of giving away a lot of stuff this week.
Excellent. We always do that on this show.
Cool.
We gave away 3 grinders. Everybody got end jammers. I'll give away more end jammers at the end of the show. Gave away
No bong hits from the Duke tonight.
no Duke bong rips, but we gave away a lot of other stuff. Pottles, end jammers, rolling papers. Everybody that showed up to the beginning of the show got rolling papers
Yep.
from Royal Queen Seats. And several people got grinders from Royal Queen Seats. So make sure you thank the sponsors.
Thank you, Wong Bong, for displaying
Wong
glass.
Bong came out, but most importantly, thanks to Abby Roach from Hotbox Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, she was quite happy she came out, too.
It's a
She
great
ran into Wong
interview.
Bong.
Great interview.
That's how things happen around here.
Dude, do I get a cut on that or what? I'm kidding. No. It's great when everybody's like uses and networks, and I hope he expands his market. He'd do well in the market.
The shit that happens in Toronto.
I know. Oh, Compton's here for the last 5 minutes. He's that important. Like, I show up for the
Still
last
got his
5
helmet
Hey, Compton, you were leaning out the window when we went by on Saturday. What did it look like?
What?
Small.
You prick.
That's what I hear.
I hear it was the
Anyways.
same size as his dick.
I don't know.
Poddle me this. Signed copies of my book will be available at TY Expo. Yeah, MMAR is not a get out of jail card for stoners. 100% true. In fact, it's kind of stupid. If you were to break the law, you just gave the police your address and everything. Like, you're retarded. Like, dude. Like, 2,000 plants over the
Your
limit.
security details.
Like, that's not even, like, you might as well do it illegally and do it.
Not shame us.
Were they all full size, or is there any chance that he had a few trays of clones?
That's more than a few
I know.
I've had 400 clones in a couple trays, and it has to be done exceedingly well.
Fair deal.
Can't you do this with math? Aren't you expecting a certain amount of seedlings to die? Like,
Yeah, even seedlings, you wouldn't, you know.
Can I change the subject a bit?
Sure, it's Nurses Week, and there's a minute left.
Okay.
Is it Nurses Week?
Every Sunday.
We had that
in
subject.
Hyde Park.
Yes.
There is a group of people called Friends of Marijuana
Right.
that meet, and for $25 for the season, you get to do this treasure hunt where
Right.
you search for an ounce of weed. There's no real marijuana in the park, so don't bring your dog.
Right.
It's a card that you're searching for.
Okay.
So this was the second week that they met this past Sunday. We had an awesome day.
Right.
The cherry blossoms were out just
Ooh.
roaming through the park,
Ooh.
looking for these cards, involving other people in your search.
Nice.
It was really fun. So I encourage people to come out.
I saw that. I didn't know what it was about, but now it all makes
Yeah,
sense
it's
to me.
when you get off Hyde Park Station,
Yep.
you go on to Bloor. The entrance there's this building,
Mm-hmm.
and right the picnic table number 1 is the first set of picnic tables, and that's where we meet.
Gotcha.
There's no signs or anything, so if you're afraid of being identified as a cannabis user, don't worry. There's nothing to identify yourself. Except the people coming over.
Attention joint smokers, bong rippers, and butter dabbers. The time is now 4:20 in Hawaii. That's the end of our show. Tune in next week, same time, same place.